G.I. Joe fighting for freedom over air and land. It's much harder to rhyme land than air, by the way. I mean, we know G.I. Joe is there, but what rhymes with land? Band. Like a band of merry machine-gunning marauders. What a great cover. This is one of my favorite covers in the G.I. Joe series, which has a lot of great covers, but just how badass is that? Got Roadblock, we got Gung Ho, got Snake Eyes. Is that Wetsuit? Torpedo? I forget who that is. Doesn't matter. You know who it's not? Scarlet. Strategic Diplomacy from November 1985. This is the second part of the Cobra Island saga here, or at least the pinnacle, the peak of the Cobra Island saga. Great opening page. Ron Wiggum, I always call him Ron Wiggum. Rod Wiggum once again does the pencils. Does a really nice job with the pencils. Strategic Diplomacy. So in the previous issue, and I'm giving away a little bit of story here, but in the end, you know, Cobra Island is formed, and we're learning how Cobra Island is formed. It's formed because they watched James Bond's A View to a Kill. So they know how this works. You blow up something near a fault line, it causes a problem. In this case, it causes a giant island to rise up from the sea with Cobra's base on it, intact. Very well thought out, Cobra. Good job. Clearly Zartan came up with this plan because Cobra Commander's an idiot. Huge tidal wave rocks the USS Flag. Almost drowns the Joes. Cobra plants a flag on their island. Joes are all knocked out. It's a great story, actually. I really like this one. And there's a part here where Ace is such a badass. We'll get to that in a moment. But so Cobra, of course, has all these cool vehicles stashed on their little boat base. Let me find it here. Because the USS Flag it's almost been capsized. That's the word I'm looking for. Capsized. Ace, love this part here. Ace takes off while the aircraft carrier is like leaning to the side. He brushes his wing against the water, but he's such a badass that he pulls it off. It's great. And there's this great fight scene between the Rattlers, between Ace, Roadblock with a machine gun, and the G.I. Joe whale. There's Tomax and Xamot. These guys are morons. Cobra Commander. G.I. Joe storms the island on foot because that's how G.I. Joe rolls. That's a great shot right there. Snake Eyes mowing down a bunch of Cobras. Got Recondo. I got to admit, I like Rekondo's hat. Like, I don't think I could pull that off. I think I'd look silly, but if I could pull off that look, I'd totally wear that all the time. Got Gung Ho and Roadblock beating the crap out of Tomax. And Xamot, we got Barbecue doing something useful. If he axes nicely, he smashes the Hiss tank's windshield. And at the end, I'll just say that Cobra doesn't necessarily win, but G.I. Joe loses. It's actually a touching, emotional read, and I highly recommend it. I think this is G.I. Joe at the peak of its game. One of the best issues. It's a really nice cover, and it's a great story on the inside. It makes you really respect the bravery and the overall badassitude of G.I. Joe, all of the Joes. And Cobra, there's no way that Cobra should actually ever pull off. They should have been dead in the first issue. I don't know how. I think it's like sheer willpower and luck. Like, they're a really well-funded group of idiots, basically, is what Cobra amounts to. But, you know, you got to admire their persistence, I guess. G.I. Joe issue 41 here on 80scomics.com. I'll see you next time in something else from the 80s, where the 80s live forever, right here